Dads, stop suffering in silence. When your son looks at you, does he see a father that's truly present or a man fighting his battles in silence? You might think you're holding it together, but your son feels the cracks in your relationship. I know I did with my pops when I was growing up.
By the end of this video, you'll be able to recognize if you're suffering in silence, how that impacts your son, and we're going to give you a couple of steps to rebuild connection even when you're not at your best. But before we dive in, if you're a dad trying to connect in a new way, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button and ring that bell.
Every week, we drop new fathership videos for you, Dad, to help you build stronger bonds, break unhealthy cycles, and create the legacy that your children need.
We're not here to talk at you. We're just the father and son that wants to walk with you. Look, I know what it feels like to carry everything alone. After the loss of my father, my brother, and two of my grandparents in 23 months, I felt like staying silent equaled being strong. And yet at home, I was hurting all of the people who were most important to me. My wife knew it, my sons felt it, and I felt like that I was failing in the most important job that I would ever have. It was the most difficult stretch in my life. And yet I felt like as a man, I need to just go ahead and go through this alone.
In reality, his silence spoke volumes. In the past, I couldn't wait to share my accomplishments with my dad, and he would be so excited for me. But after the losses of our family members, it no longer felt like I could impress him. So we want to help you avoid making the same mistakes or learn how you can turn things around.
Okay, Avery, so the first thing fathers have to do is admit when they're carrying too much. Look, pain is going to show up. It doesn't matter how much we try to hide it, your family's going to be the one who feels it first. It may show up in you being impatient when it comes to the smallest things, or your son stops asking you questions because he doesn't feel that you're present anyway. It might show up years later when the story he writes is written in silence. As dads, you owe yourself more than that.
I remember the exact night at the dinner table when my pops finally admitted that he was in pain. I must have been 13 years old at the time, and he was carrying a lot after the losses of our family members. But that moment was so crucial for me because he finally let me in on the pain that he had been hiding. Sometimes, sometimes dads, all you need to say is, I'm having a rough day. Just give me a second, but I'll still be here.
Facts. But you also have to realize that your silence is writing the wrong story. For me, that story was telling my loved ones that I'm unavailable and I didn't want to be bothered. And that led to real damages, real consequences, and real disconnection. As a man that's been married for 34 years, it's easy to tell yourself that you're keeping the peace or you're avoiding conflict by not speaking up. But in reality, silence is never neutral. It's going to tell a story whether you want it to or not.
Ironically, when I was younger, my dad was always vocal. I mean, the man never failed to express himself. So when he became silent, internally, I thought it was something that I did. But dads, you have an opportunity to teach your sons that it's okay to not be okay for a moment. Now, before we continue, we have a question for all of you, and we want you to respond in the chat. How would you describe fatherhood in one sentence? Let us know in the comment section below.
One of the ways that you can avoid going through what I did was just stop performing. My breakthrough actually happened when I admitted what I was dealing with. And for me, it took a lot of courage. And the thing about courage, it's not about pretending that you have it all together. It's actually admitting that you don't. And as dads, sometimes it's hard feeling like you're on stage, like you've got this, but inside, you're really breaking down. So for anybody that's viewing this, understand you don't have to be flawless. You just need to be present and learn to be vulnerable. Because vulnerability is one of the best trust makers that you'll ever have between you and your children. They'll see that even when you're hurting, you can still be there for them.
That's real. I mean, there were days when you came home from work and I could tell it was a rough one. One time, I kept asking you, hey, what's going on? Are you okay? Did something happen? And you snapped back at me and you said, stop trying to read my mind. Immediately, I felt like you were shutting me out. And as your son, all I wanted to do was to help. So, for any of the fathers watching this right now, just know that your silence can also feel like rejection to your kids. All right, the last thing that we want to mention in this video is that it is crucial to acknowledge what is going on, and that can be done in a variety of ways. Look, obviously in this video, we talked about why it's important to speak up when you're struggling, but don't be afraid to write down your thoughts because there's a lot of benefits that come from journaling. And if that's not your jam, then you can even text somebody that you trust or somebody that's being impacted by the struggles that you were going through. Look, at the end of the day, there is no perfect way to acknowledge. The point is, you can't heal from something that you aren't willing to name. All right, y'all. So if this video resonates with you, don't just go back to suffering in silence. Go to the comment section below and download the Father Shift Blueprint, where you can learn strategies to maximize time with your son.
And before you head out, like this video, hit that subscribe button, and tap that bell. We'll see you soon.